How to heal and move on from a heartbreak. I mean, who hasn't felt that pain that hurts more than a punch to the liver? The disappointment. When you get to the point where your self-esteem is so low that you ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Don't worry, after you listen to this, you will know exactly what to do. And that person will be a long gone memory. Let's start with the obvious. The 3 stages of grievance: denial, anger, and acceptance. I will need you to speed up the process all the way to acceptance. What often happens is that when we are in grief, we often deny the fact that we are even in pain. So what I want you to do is feel all of the emotions that you're supposed to feel. If you have to cry, to smash some stuff, do it. Do whatever you gotta do. Take it out of your system before it eats you from inside out. Once you've gone through all of the tears, all of the emotions, the place you need to spend the most time is the acceptance part. Accept it. They did what they did. They said what they said. And do not be fooled. Despite all the nice reasons, all the nice explanations, all the nice excuses that they've given, it doesn't change the fact that it was excuses to leave. They were considerate enough to leave without wanting to hurt your feelings. But the truth is that if you really love them, there was no way of them leaving without hurting your feelings. So do not consider the things they said as a way for you to come back, or that there is an opportunity for you to be back in their life. To go even further, I would like you to practice this exercise. Think back to a time where you was in a talking stage with someone, or in a marriage, or in a full-blown relationship, and you wanted to leave, but the person clearly liked you. You was thinking about leaving, plotting about leaving from a long time ago, but deep down you knew that you would hurt the person by doing so, so you delayed it. But if you were honest with yourself, you couldn't wait for them to be off your back. You couldn't wait to be free from that relationship. And remember, once you got the courage to tell them, even though you was a little bit sad, you still felt relieved. You felt like you was free. You couldn't wait for this. Well, I hate to break this to you, but they felt like that. The person that left, they wanted to. They've been wanting to. They've been aching to leave, but they just felt remorse. So do not attempt to go back with them or to plead your case, because it's going to make it even worse. Now they're going to get mad. For the sake of argument, let's say that you want to go back to them and you actually succeed in getting them back, even though they rejected you. You'll be in for a ride. You've literally forced yourself back to be with someone that didn't want you as much. That means that when you're with them now, they don't really respect you. They think themselves more valuable than you in this dynamic. And what does that entail? You will not be treated to your worth. You will be in constant fear of losing that relationship. And that constant fear will lead you to doing overtime to make sure that this relationship does not fall apart. You will be working overtime to get some basic love or basic treatment that one should get from their partner, because you forced something that was not mutual. Forcing things in such a manner, living in those type of relationship, is literally a pact with the devil. You will not win. On the outside, you may have the one that you think you was meant to have, but within the relationship, it's going to be miserable. Maybe that's what you want, I don't know. But I would strongly advise against it. Unless you like pain, suffering, maybe you got a thing for that. Now, I hope that you're discouraged from going back to that person. Now, you need to focus on what you could have improved. Because yes, it's true that yes, they left and it was mean from your perspective. But really and truly, there was a reason. Sometimes it's not you, but sometimes maybe there was something that you wasn't doing right. So you need to make sure you go back and figure out what was you doing wrong. And if you can, try to improve that aspect for the next person that will come, and for your sake as well. Now, this is mainly for men, but it could also work for women. You need to find the true love of your life. And I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about your mission, your purpose. Love is important, romance is important, but it should never be more important than your mission. It should never be more important than your purpose. Your purpose and your mission will always be there and will never abandon you. But human beings, they're not as dependable. They're not as reliable. They change their mind, which is not wrong. It's just our nature. Nothing is static. But a mission stays there. It's loyal to you, the beholder of it. Now, after you apply all these things, do not be surprised if in 6 months or sometime after that, that person reaches out to you and tells you that they miss you, that they regret what they've done and whatnot. Now, when they come back to you of their own accord, is different. Now you have the option to say yes or no. I won't tell you what to do in that scenario, but all I will say is weigh in the pros versus the cons. Take some time to think about it and let them know that you will think about it first, and then weigh in the pros and the cons. What can they bring to your life based on what you've seen from them in the past? Is there a good thing for them to come back, or is it better to move on to something better? Because there's always better. There is always better. Once you realize that, you'll be at peace at all times. There is always better. But yes, guys, that was it. Very simple, nothing crazy, but straight to the point.